In the previous slide, we discussed and did an overview of our continuous improvement model. What we'd like to do now is to drill down and give you a little more detail of how the plan will be developed and how the various groups and various stakeholders will work on the plan. If you look on the left-hand side, where I'm pointing, we have phase 1 and the different stakeholders that will be involved in that. And we look at planning team and the work that they will be doing, as well as the action team. These are the groups responsible. What they will be doing and the outcomes will be beliefs, mission, vision, and strategic goal areas for the planning team, and then performance objectives with performance measures and targets for the action team. Before going through the plan development levels and phases, do want to make a point, and we'll discuss it in more detail later, that before anything happens, we have a community engagement meeting, and we do surveys online and possibly hard copy, depending on what the district wants, of various community members and stakeholders. We work with the community and get input before we go through the different phases of this plan. I'll be giving you more detail later in the course, and also actually be showing you some video where you'll be exposed to an actual community engagement meeting. Let's talk now about the planning team. This is a group of stakeholders. We usually ask the district to provide 20 to 25 people representing all stakeholders. That would include a couple of board members, central office, school, parents, business leaders, and other community representatives. We assemble this group. It's usually about half school system people, half community members, to answer the following questions. Who are we, and where do we want to go? We'll be looking at and developing some specific outcomes, including strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, as one of the things we do with the planning team is a SWOT analysis. Also, we'll be developing beliefs, mission, and vision. Some districts who have vetted their beliefs, mission, and vision recently and feel very strongly that they continue to keep those as the foundation of their district, we do not look at possibly changing them, but we do use them as the foundation of the plan. The planning team will eventually develop strategic goals or goal areas with priorities. There'll be a section a little later in the course where we'll talk a little bit more in detail about the planning team. And finally, the last part of phase 1 are the action teams. These are smaller groups of 5 to 7 people. Normally they are school staff. Usually it is a majority of central office staff, although there can be and should be some school representation. They will look at and answer the questions, how will we know when we have arrived? The action teams look at each strategic goal or goal area identified by the planning team and identifies performance objectives, measures, and targets. Each goal may be assigned to a different action team, or a district may have one large action team. The work of the action team is then presented back to the planning team for review and approval. When Phase 1 is completed, it is brought to the Board of Education for approval, and again, we'll talk a little bit more in detail about that later in the course. So our strategic planning service, working with the district, ends when Phase 1 is completed. However, there are things that districts can do to ensure that they keep the plan alive and make the plan a living document that can help and assist and provide the education students need and the resources that teachers need. So Phase 2 of this plan is what happens after we are done, and this is left up to the local district, and we strongly encourage that they work with staff and others relative to developing initiatives and also developing action steps. Many times this is what you'll see in your school improvement plans. So this is where we have the link of the district plan developed by the stakeholders, and then level 4 and 5, Phase 2, which links the district plan to the individual school improvement plans. It's very important in Phase 2, once the plan developed in Phase 1 has been adopted by the board, that the district do what it can to make sure that that plan is implemented in the district. Ways in which that can happen is obviously, as we've mentioned previously, that the plan be aligned with the school improvement plans, but very important in Phase 2 is the alignment of the plan to the school district's budget, as well as the board self-assessment and the superintendent and staff evaluations. These are all ways in which the plan developed in Phase 1 can be ensured that it's implemented through these activities in Phase 2. I stopped it. Oh, shoot. What I want to do is delete what we just did. I went too long. I should have stopped.